The demand for Alex Eala is so immense that ticket prices are reportedly doubling, yet fans keep lining up. As the 17th seed steps into Cincinnati, she's breaking her silence, not just about the pressure, but about the Filipino community she's fighting for. She's turning stadiums into home courts, and the tennis world is scrambling to keep up. The numbers are staggering. The impact is undeniable. And the price of Alex Eala's popularity is now being measured not just in ticket sales, but in the very economics of the tournaments she graces. Across North America, the Eala Effect has become a phenomenon that tournament directors are scrambling to quantify. In Washington, D.C., organizers revealed that ticket inquiries for Eala surged to at least 80% after she made her run to the Mubadala D.C. Open title. In Toronto, the demand was so overwhelming that officials were forced to move the Filipina star from a secondary court to center court, selling out the 10,000-plus seat stadium. And now, in Cincinnati, the pattern continues with reports of ticket prices doubling as fans clamor for a glimpse of the world number 20. The phenomenon has not gone unnoticed by the tennis establishment. Coco Gauff, a four-time Grand Slam champion, has welcomed the development, saying, "I like that Alex brings a whole new demographic to the WTA Tour." Even opponents have acknowledged the transformative power of Eala's presence. After a match against the Filipina in Dubai, Gauff remarked, "I know you were mostly supporting Alex. But I have to say, it is great to be on a crowded court. I've played this tournament for many years. And to see the stadium full, it means a lot." The price of popularity, however, comes with its own challenges. Eala's packed schedule, 8 matches in 12 days across 2 countries, has tested her physical limits. The grueling North American hard-court swing has taken its toll, but the 21-year-old remains steadfast. "I'm healthy, which is something I'm super grateful for. It's something that's obviously on the top of my priority all the time," she said, emphasizing her commitment to staying fit for her fans. As the Cincinnati Open gets underway, the question is no longer whether Eala can draw a crowd. She has already proven that. The question is, what happens when the price of popularity becomes the new normal? The roar of the crowd had faded. The cameras had captured the tears welling up in her eyes. But what Alex Eala wanted the world to understand was something far more profound than a moment of defeat. We're the ones at the courts for 12 hours a day. We're the ones waking up early and coming home late. Those words, spoken after her historic Wimbledon run, captured the essence of who Alex Eala is. Not a celebrity who stumbled into fame, not a product of hype, but a young woman who had put in the hours, made the sacrifices, and earned every single moment of recognition. "That day-to-day work and work ethic are what keep me grounded and focused," Eala explained. "The responsibility, the impact I have on other people, and the inspiration I can bring are really a result of that work ethic." She acknowledged the privilege of her position, but never lost sight of the journey that brought her there. "I've always thought about this as a personal journey because although I'm very grateful for all the support I get, it's my team, my family, and I who have been putting in the hours." The message was clear. This wasn't just about the victory, but about the fight. As she prepared for Cincinnati, Eala carried the lessons of Toronto with her. "I'm taking the lessons that I've had from these 2 weeks and hopefully implementing them even more in a better way in Cincinnati and New York." The fight continues. The work continues. And the woman who described herself as just a drop in the ocean when it comes to Filipino pride is determined to prove that every drop counts. "Maraming salamat sa mga kababayan natin sa lahat ng ginawa ninyo mula sa Washington hanggang Toronto at sa lahat ng gagawin ninyo pa. Parati kayong sumusuporta at nagdarasal, parati kayong nagpupuyat kaya tuloy-tuloy lang akong magtatrabaho. Para sa inyo." She is fighting for them, and they are fighting for her. The Eala Effect isn't just a feeling. It's a measurable phenomenon that has forced tournament organizers across the globe to rethink how they plan their events. And at the center of it all is a simple truth. Wherever Alex Eala plays, the Philippines follows. The numbers don't lie. In Washington, D.C., tournament chairman Mark Ine revealed that at least 80%, if not more, of ticket inquiries were about Alex Eala. Honestly, I think it's more, and they just didn't want to say it's more, but they're like virtually all, Ein said. The demand was so overwhelming that organizers actively recruited Eala months in advance, knowing she would be a phenomenon. Earlier this year, in the early spring, our team said, "This is a phenomenon that's spreading, and we should try to get Alex to come to Washington," Ein revealed. Toronto became the next stage for the Eala Effect. The National Bank Open sold out its 10,000-seat center court within 30 minutes of Eala's match being announced. Tournament director Carl Hale admitted, "We've never seen a player ranked outside the top 5 have this type of effect." The demand was so great that organizers moved Eala's match from the 2,800-seat grandstand court to center court, as her presence alone generated upwards of 5,000 ticket sales. For the first time in tournament history, the menu was adjusted. Chicken adobo and lumpia were added to the food offerings in recognition of Eala's Filipino heritage. It's the first time I've ever heard of a tournament halfway through adding a food offering just because of a player, Hale admitted. The phenomenon extends far beyond North America. At the Australian Open, Court 6 was swamped, with fans desperate to catch a glimpse of Eala. Large crowds gathered in Melbourne Park's main square to watch on big screens, creating a logjam that organizers had never seen before. In Dubai, ticket sales for Eala's matches surged. Jessica Pegula, who played against Eala in Miami, recalled hearing the crowd from her hotel room because the courts were so close. American tennis star turned podcaster Andy Roddick has dubbed it Eala Mania. Eala Mania is fun. When you have watch parties in arenas around your country for a fourth-round match, I'm in, Roddick said. He added that Eala is attracting more tennis fans in a very committed and passionate way. The support is so intense that it has influenced tournament scheduling. Eala's matches are now regularly moved to larger courts to accommodate the Filipino crowds. Kokokov, who has played against Eala, described the atmosphere as incredibly inspiring and noted that Eala is bringing a whole new demographic to the sport. Goff's doubles partner, Desiree Kropchak, whose mother is Filipina, said her mother had become one of Eala's most devoted followers, wanting to prepare pancit and lumpia for the Filipina star. Tournament director Carl Hale summed it up. "Alex is an absolute blessing to the sport of tennis at our tournament." The blessing, however, comes with a new reality. Eala's success is no longer just about winning matches. It's about carrying the hopes of a diaspora, inspiring a nation, and transforming the economics of the sport itself. The Eala Effect is here to stay. The moment Alex Eala's name appeared on the Cincinnati Open player list, something remarkable happened. She wasn't just another competitor. She was the No. 17 seed. The highest seeding of her career at a WTA 1000 event. The seeding marked a transformation that few could have predicted just 18 months ago. In Washington, Eala had been unseeded, forced to fight through every round against the world's best. In Toronto, she was the number 25 seed, and now in Cincinnati, she had climbed to No. 17, a reflection of her career-high world number 20 ranking and the respect she had earned from the tennis establishment. The seeding came with a privilege that was once unthinkable, a first-round bye. She didn't need to scrounge for main draw slots or grind through qualifiers anymore. The bye would give her precious time to recover from the grueling Toronto run and prepare for what lies ahead. "I've come far, but I have still farther to go," Eala said, acknowledging how far she had traveled from her wildcard days. The Cincinnati Open field is a who's who of women's tennis. Aryna Sabalenka, the world number 1, leads the draw alongside Elena Rybakina, Jessica Pegula, Coco Gauff, and Naomi Osaka. Eala is in the same section of the draw as Pegula, the very player she defeated in the Washington final to capture her first WTA title. The rematch would be a story that the tennis media would devour. But the seeding was more than a ranking. It was a recognition. Eala was no longer just a promising talent. She was a legitimate contender. Her breakthrough season had seen her climb 123 spots in the rankings, from number 143 to number 20. She had become the first Filipina to be seeded in a Grand Slam main draw at Wimbledon. And now she was a seeded player at a WTA 1000 event, competing alongside the biggest names in the sport. As Eala walked onto the Lindner Family Tennis Center for her Cincinnati debut, she carried the weight of a nation's hopes. But she also carried something else, the knowledge that she had earned her place among the elite. The new era had begun, and Alex Eala was ready to write the next chapter. The ticket prices had doubled, the stadiums had sold out, the menus had changed, and yet, for Alex Eala, the most important thing wasn't the numbers, it was the people behind them. It's an honor to represent my country, and I'm super grateful for all the love and recognition I'm getting. Eala beamed, acknowledging the Filipino community that had turned every tournament into a homecoming. The Eala Effect was no longer a phenomenon confined to a single city or tournament. It had become a global movement, a testament to the power of representation. In Washington, tournament chairman Mark Ein had revealed that 80% of ticket inquiries were about Eala, a figure that stunned even seasoned organizers. In Toronto, the demand had forced organizers to move her matches to center court and add chicken adobo and lumpia to the menu for the first time in tournament history. In Dubai, Jessica Pegula had heard the crowd from her hotel room. The movement transcended tennis itself. As one analysis noted, the Eala Effect was about more than matches and rankings. It was about a diaspora finding itself reflected on the world stage. Filipino families, OFWs, students, and professionals were crossing borders to watch her play, turning unfamiliar stadiums into virtual homelands. Wherever a Filipino dares to dream on the world's biggest stage, fellow Filipinos will find a way to be there. American tennis star Andy Roddick had dubbed it Eala Mania, noting that she was attracting more tennis fans in a very committed and passionate way. Coco Gauff, who had played against Eala in Dubai, recognized the transformative power of her presence. I like that Alex brings a whole new demographic to the WTA Tour. Even after a lopsided 6-0, 6-2 defeat to Gauff in Dubai, the American praised the atmosphere. I know you were mostly supporting Alex, but I have to say, it is great to be on a crowded court. I've played this tournament for many years, and to see the stadium full, it means a lot. For Eala, the phenomenon was both humbling and motivating. She had spoken about feeling like just a drop in the ocean when it came to Filipino pride. But every drop counts. And the ocean that had formed around her was growing larger with every tournament. Maraming salamat sa mga kababayan natin sa lahat ng ginawa ninyo mula sa Washington hanggang Toronto at sa lahat ng gagawin ninyo pa. Prati kayong sumusuporta at nagdarasal, prati kayong nagpupuyat kaya tuloy-tuloy lang akong magtatrabaho para sa inyo. The words were a promise. The work continues. And the Eala Effect shows no signs of slowing down. The Cincinnati Open would be the next chapter in a story that had already captivated the tennis world. As the No. 17 seed, Eala had received a first-round bye, a privilege that had once been unimaginable. Her ascent from the qualifying rounds to the seeded brackets was proof of her evolution. As we say, I've come far, but I have still farther to go, she had said. And she meant it. The question was no longer whether Eala could draw a crowd. She had already proven that. The question was, what comes next? The U.S. Open loomed on the horizon. The final Grand Slam of the year awaited in Flushing Meadows, Queens. And Eala was positioning herself for a deep run, carrying the momentum of a breakthrough season that had seen her climb to number 20 in the world. She was ready to fight. She was ready to work. And she was ready to make the Philippines proud. I'm counting my blessings and I'm taking the lessons that I've had from these 2 weeks and hopefully implementing them even more in a better way in Cincinnati and New York, she vowed. The Eala Effect had arrived in Cincinnati, and the tennis world was watching to see what would happen next. The Eala Effect has transformed the tennis landscape. From Washington's 80% ticket inquiries to Toronto's sold-out stadiums to the 17th seeding at Cincinnati, Alex Eala's popularity has broken records and captured a global audience. The movement represents more than just a player. It represents a diaspora finding itself on the world stage. The Eala Effect is here to stay. If you enjoyed this story, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We bring you the biggest stories in tennis, drama, and emotion every single week. Don't miss what happens next.